When we received an iPhone XR from Alabama for data recovery, we were in for a surprise. The phone was boot looping on the Apple logo, and it was not charging. The first step we took was to connect the phone to the computer to attempt a restore. However, the phone was not recognized. To verify that the issue was not with the cable or the computer, we tried connecting another phone. As you can see, that phone was recognized. Next, we connected the phone to a USB reader to see if it was charging. According to the USB reader, the phone was not drawing any power. It was not charging. In cases like this, we use a Hydra tester, a blue machine, to test the charging port and the charging controller, also known as the Hydra. When we clicked Test, the Hydra tester indicated that the charging port was defective. Since the phone was not charging or been recognized by the computer, we removed the motherboard and transferred it to another housing that had all of the peripherals in good working condition. We then connected the phone to the Hydra tester to see if we still got an error. Now, the Hydra tester was giving us a new error. It was telling us that the charging port was working, but the Hydra IC was failing. This confirmed that the issues were the charging port and the Hydra IC. The Hydra IC for the iPhone XR, also known as the U6300 or USB charging controller, is responsible for controlling the charging process of the phone. It negotiates with the charger to determine the optimal charging voltage and current, and protects the battery from overheating. The Hydra IC can be damaged by a number of factors, including water damage, physical damage, software glitches, manufacturing defects, and other factors. If the Hydra IC is damaged, it can cause a variety of charging problems, such as not charging, slow charging, unreliable charging, overheating, battery swelling, and iTunes errors. To locate the Hydra IC, we consulted the software schematic. The Hydra IC for the iPhone XR is located next to the CPU, so we had to be very careful when replacing it. If we applied too much heat, we could overheat the CPU and damage it. To remove the Hydra IC, we used a different method. First, we removed all of the underfill around the edges, which is the black epoxy in the surrounding areas. We used a pry tool and 200 degrees Celsius of heat to gently remove the epoxy. We had to be careful not to go too deep, as we could scratch or cut any lines under the motherboard. Once the cleaning was, we removed the sticker on top of the IC using the pry tool and the same temperature. Next, we folded a piece of solder wick and placed it on top of the sticker. We then added flux and applied our soldering iron to the solder wick. We added as much solder to the solder wick as possible to help warm up the IC and make it easier to remove. The heat from the solder wick was transferred to the IC, melting the solder underneath. Once the solder had melted, we gently lifted up the IC without forcing it. As you can see, there was no damage, and this method was very effective. We cleaned the area with solder and a pry tool to remove any remaining epoxy. Level up your micro-soldering skills with our 5-day training program or private one-on-one classes. Learn from the experts at Cell Phone Repair Academy. Visit www.cellphonerepairacademy.com for more info. We then placed a new Hydra IC on the motherboard, aligned it, and applied heat to install it. To verify that the motherboard was working again, we connected it to the housing that we knew was functioning properly and verified that it booted to the main menu. Once we had verified that the data was accessible, we transferred the motherboard to the other housing. Thank you for watching.